Hey, what is up guys? It is Slick or Slickmuff here, back again with another video. And in this one I wanted to talk about the thing that bothered me the absolute most from the Spider-Man PS4 campaign. And it bothered me immensely at the time, and in retrospect, now that I have the foresight of having played the game several months ago, it bothers me even more. And that is the decision to have Mary Jane not be bit by the radioactive spider and instead have Miles Morales turn into Spider-Man, basically. So if you recall, there's a moment where MJ is in Norman Osborn's apartment in his little secret lab, and a spider gets on her, a radioactive spider in particular, and she walks all the way back to where Miles is. The spider miraculously doesn't bite her, and then it walks all around Feast, and then it goes down and bites Miles. So not only is this fairly nonsensical in terms of logistically, it also is just a cheap cop-out, I felt. Because what I thought when I saw that spider crawl onto her, I thought, wow, they're really going in a bold direction. They're really pulling the trigger and making their mark on this universe. You know, MJ is going to be Spider-Girl, basically. Now, Spider-Girl is usually their daughter, and it's actually several other people. But anyway, that's very complicated. But the point is, they were going to do something unique. MJ is not normally, seen with spider powers. That would have been really, really cool, especially since at the end of the game, their romance is rekindled. So having that romantic duality of their relationship and fighting crime together would have been really interesting. And maybe make Miles Morales that way too, but my point is they robbed MJ of that, and they were teasing it and they didn't do anything with it, and keeping her kind of in this lame place where she's kind of, I mean, she's a romantic interest for Peter, but not really involved beyond that. So I thought that was a huge missed opportunity for them, and I do feel as though they could have done a lot with that, again, with that MJ thing. But they really faked us out, and I feel that it's something that can happen when any fan is making a game, or somebody like Brian Intihar and his staff that are huge Spider-Man fans. They get the chance to do this, and they're fanboys so much so, in a good way. I don't mean that word fanboy in like a condescending way. They're just fanboys, and such fanboys and fangirls to such the degree that they kind of are cemented into the Spider-Verse as it exists. In other words, the canon becomes their main reality, and you get somebody in, and it can be a positive thing to have somebody that isn't really, in love with the character, let's say, of Peter Parker or Spider-Man. They look at it with fresh eyes. They can say, well, why is it the case that MJ is never, why does she never have spider powers? I mean, sometimes she does in like weird offshoot comics, but for the most part she doesn't, right? So why do we never do that? Why is she only this? And you could say, oh, that's actually really interesting. Maybe we should try that. And they teased that they were going to, and then they kind of baited you on it, which was really annoying me. As soon as that spider crawled up her sleeve, I was like, Insomniac, you dirty dogs. That's a good move. I like it. And they kind of copped it out. Not that I don't want to see Miles be Spider-Man or anything. He's a really good character, and especially since the new movie came out, I think that the interest for him will be very high. But what I mean to say is that they kind of baited us, and they made it seem like they were taking things in a bold new direction, and in reality, in retrospect, they really didn't. And that's not to say they didn't do new interesting things with the Spider-Verse. They certainly did. Having Doc Ock be a mentor to Peter Parker was a very, very interesting move, and one that I enjoyed immensely. These other things, for the most part, besides that, they didn't change a whole lot to the canon. And again, a lot of that becomes, you're such a huge fan of the character, you focus so heavily on fan service, on referencing old games and movies, and those Easter eggs are worthwhile, but at the same point, you can deeply become cemented in the canon, because it is so vast, so expansive, and you're such an immense fan of it, that you are in some sense trepidatious to deviate from it. And that's kind of what I noticed a little bit in those types of scenes, where they're doing new things with Spider-Man games. You've never played as MJ before in a Spider-Man game. We've never done a lot of things in Spider-Man games that we do in this game. So they're innovating from a game design perspective, but from a narrative perspective. They made a lot of great decisions to change the canon, and I think that this was one in particular that they kind of chickened out on. So anyway, guys, I hope you'll have enjoyed the video. Let me know what you thought about this video, and if you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up, and once again, leave a like on this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one in tomorrow's video. We're doing daily uploads, and I hope you guys have been enjoying them. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.